Veeam and Cloudian have been working on data immutability solution. I want to say almost for 3 years now, and it's one of the most robust solutions there is today. When we talk about ransomware, it continues to be top of mind for most of the IT folks, CIOs, and what have you. And legacy solutions are not sufficient enough. Most of the legacy solutions depend on perimeter defense system, but we all know that all it takes is one loose chink in the chain for hackers to get in. And what they go after today is not just your primary data, but they know that your backup data is your line of defense. So they go after the backup data as well as the primary data, right? And all they need to do is succeed once for your whole system to be compromised, right? Cloudian and Veeam together provide you your last line of defense by making your entire backup workflow immutable, right? And how they do this is with support for object lock. Steve mentioned that a little bit earlier. From a Cloudian perspective, right, we are the first on-prem object storage to have native support for S3 object lock. In fact, at the development stage, Veeam and Cloudian worked very closely together, ensuring that we had good compatibility with what we were building on the immutability perspective. And since this is standards based, it works seamlessly right from day one, right? With S3 object lock, you can store objects in Cloudian, which connects onto the Veeam capacity tier using the worm model. What worm model means is write once, read many, and with the object lock enable, objects are made completely immutable or tamper-proof, as we like to call it, for a certain period of time, right? And this is defined at the time of bucket creation. Now, on the Cloudian side, we support all the modes that are there for object lock, which is governance mode, the less stringent mode where you have administrators being able to unlock the data locks just in case there is a requirement or unintentional locking. This is typically used for internal test modes and likes. And then there's the compliance mode. Now, this is the mode that Veeam supports, and this is the mode that you would be using for your ransomware protection. And this is the most stringent of the two modes, and specifically catered towards ransomware protection, and even in some cases compliance, especially on the regulatory side. In this case, the objects once locked cannot be deleted, even from privileged access modes like administrators or root users. The whole backup workflow, once put under object lock, is completely tamper-proof and gives you the best protection or the last line of defense against a cryptographic attack from ransomware. But it is not just enough to have your storage lockdown objects with a software feature such as object lock. What happens in the case of hackers getting into your system at the root level and completely, clearing out your storage offering, which is again a software offering. So what we have with Cloudian is we actually pride ourselves to be military grade secure storage, and what that means is the S3 object lock obviously protects your data from ransomware by making it immutable, right? But when we ship Cloudian in the worm mode, it ships as a hardened storage with hyperstore shell enabled and the root disabled. So you will not have any access to the root, even if you have administrator privileges. And this makes the whole system, whole solution protected at the system level, because it is impregnable even from the root, because there is no root access for that matter. Similar solutions typically have a porousness at the root level, and one of the reasons why we talk about this as being a military grade security is because we've developed a lot of these for our federal and state and local customers, which have specifically asked for this. We also have all of the security certifications, whether it's SEC Rule 17A4, FINRA, FIPS, and the likes, to actually be able to work with the US department. And we bring these capabilities to you as a regular customer to offer you the complete solution for ransomware protection. Through the multi-tenancy piece, allows you to share the common infrastructure while keeping your storage pieces separated. And of course, we also incorporate the highest level of data encryptions to not just protect you against the cryptographic attacks, but also be able to, handle data exfiltration attacks with stringent standards set from NIST as well as ITF, which are included in the product. Here's a quick example of what it looks like from a workflow perspective to prevent ransomware attacks. Right? It all starts with your backup workflow from Veeam, and Steve will go through it through some slides after this. But it starts with Veeam. You start your data backups just regularly, and you get the option of choosing your target as well as setting the workflow to be immutable. This is the point where you also mention how long you want the immutability to last, and all of these parameters are then automatically taken over on the Cloudian side, and a bucket with the set immutability is created, and objects within those buckets are specifically marked with the immutability that you have, and that's about it. After this point, all of your backups landing in those in that object are immutable for the duration that you've set. Ransomware attacks, even if they happen, will not be able to tamper with the objects in that bucket, and you will be able to get a clean copy of your backups for restore.